Yeah, I feel like I kind of fucked that ending up.
No, you didn't.
It's Thursday, October 22nd, 2020. Episode 025. If you're keeping score, you are about to go down the rabbit hole with Joe and Bryan. I'm Bryan. With me, as always, my good friend Joe. Joe, how you doing?
I'm well, and yourself?
Doing okay. It's been a crazy week.
That it has.
Both in the news and for me personally. If you recall, Tuesday was my big day in court.
Yes, I do. And so,
Yeah.
you're talking to me now, so I assume you didn't land in cuffs.
I did not get cuffed. It was quite a, for the most part, non-eventful experience. Although I got a feeling that it's not over yet because.
Wait.
Well, yeah, because here's the thing. Okay, so I live in Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
I got the ticket in Ohio.
Uh-oh.
So I went to the Ohio courts, and so there, the prosecutor, basically, I went to like a pretrial hearing, and essentially that's where the lawyers get with the prosecutors, and that's where the schmoozing that I was looking for takes place.
Mm-hmm. I'm surprised they had you show up.
Yeah, but apparently 155, the prosecutor wasn't in a schmoozing type mood.
So he was out for for justice. Sorry. What in a what?
Of 100 in a 55. Yeah. Oh.
It's like you were in the DeLorean trying to go back in the past. Time travel. Why?
Well.
and the crazy thing is, like you said, like he caught you as you were coming down from the high. So okay.
Well, he caught me early enough. If he would have been another mile down the road, I'd have been in jail because he probably would have tagged me at like 120 or 30 or something. Maybe not. I don't know.
Did you have to use the restroom, man?
I told you I was being provoked by the asshole in the big truck, man.
Oh yeah. Right.
It's not my fault, Your Honor.
Anyway,
the prosecutor knocked 15 miles off, so that I ended up pleading guilty to a 85 in a 55.
So I'm surprised he didn't look at that and say, yeah, reckless driving,
right?
Or reckless endangerment, or
Well, the judge reminded me on multiple times that I was getting off light, and that of all of what she could do, and I was like, "Yep." Did
you do your best puppy dog eyes? As maybe
yeah, it's hard. It's hard, but that's the thing, man. The trembling lip thing didn't work because I had to wear a mask. So it was just my eyes, and I don't know whether
would you put some eye drops in, that way you have that just about the tear up, dilated pupils.
That would have been a great idea.
I'm telling you, you should have just like I said, took whatever you had to drink, throw that in your lap. As soon as you got pulled over, be like, I'm sorry, sir, I really had to use the restroom. And there's a shell around the corner that I know that that I can get into, and I'm so very sorry.
You've thought about this a lot, man.
I've done that before.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
Between that and having a Bible in the passenger seat.
Oh, good Lord. Do I need to start carrying around religious paraphernalia now?
No, just the Bible. I mean,
okay.
I was funny story. I was
A rosary might help.
Yeah, no. What if the guys? Protestant, the variety that hates Catholics? Yeah, that's not good. But
That's
literally,
true.
I was it was like my junior year in college, and I was going to meet a professor. I was having Easter dinner with her, and I was speeding, and I got pulled over, and the only reason I didn't get a ticket was because I had a Bible.
Wow.
Yeah. And that whole like throwing something in your lap, I've done that too.
Did I tell you? I mean, it one time, remember when we would our hangout spot was the Rusty Bucket.
Yeah.
We hung out there for a couple
that was
summers.
our last spot. The last spot.
It may have, yeah. Was it the last spot?
I think so. That's the spot that didn't. Well, Toots didn't close down. I think it was. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
How about downtown? Like Rock Bottom.
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
we used to alternate.
Yeah,
eventually.
one of our drinking nights there at Rusty Bucket. I was coming home, and I lived in Taylor Mill,
Mhm.
and that's Kentucky as well. And I had the Infinity, and I was hauling ass down 471 at that time, and this dude, I don't think he was on duty, but some dude pulled me over, and he was irate. But I used the whole restroom thing then, and he let me go. But
He let you go?
yeah, but I don't even think he was like
Hello?
on duty, and I don't think he was on duty, and he
It was either that or shift change.
yeah, something like that. But anyway, enough. But no, not enough, because now they're, as my lawyer pointed out, that they'll whether it's up now to Kentucky what they do. It's, I guess,
Point
as
on your
far
license.
as far as points go. But it's hard to, I don't know. I can't look up. I wasn't able to like find anything reliable for get a ticket in one state and what do they do to you in another state, but I just did a lookup of points, what happens in Kentucky, and they said for like 26 miles and over, it's a hearing and a possible suspension.
Oh snap!
But I've already had a hearing in Kentucky, so would they want me for another hearing, or?
Oh, I would assume that means if the violation took place in the state of Kentucky.
That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, I mean.
So but I think I'm probably looking at 6 points, man. So, but you know what? I don't drive a lot, and I don't drive. And despite the slanderous things that you say about me, I don't drive fast all the time. Just...
How is it slanderous when the judge does you a solid and knocks 15? Sorry, I'll stop.
Yeah, well. So there you go. So the saga continues. I still need to. I'm hoping that they just tack the points on, and I don't want to have to go do anything else, man.
No, yeah. I mean, once again, I think so long as you come out like cut free,
right.
you're on the winning side of the issue. And you might also consider putting a governor in your car. Because really, you need the juice when you need to accelerate real fast, or if you're passing somebody. But pretty much beyond 75 miles per hour, you're just asking and begging for trouble. Sorry, yeah.
Well, the car comes with a governor.
What happened to it? Well, obviously it's not working.
Well, I didn't read. It cuts off at 155. So I just didn't reach the limit there yet.
Just absolutely useless. So
come on, putting a governor on that kind of car, on that car, that would be like, I don't know. I think that would be like buying a prize breeding race, a breeding racehorse or
Yeah, a
something.
racehorse and strapping on a milk cart.
I'm just cutting its nuts off or something.
Okay, deal. Yeah, that's an apropos. Like absolute waste. Yeah, I get that. Absolute waste in every way. Well, I'm glad that you're here to do the show, and you're not in cuffs. Speaking of driving, you did a little driving this weekend, right?
Yeah. I went to Friday. I drove down to North Carolina. Took mom down to see my cousin, and well, first of all, it's about 9 to 9.5 hours, man, and that's just a lot for a wimp like me to drive.
Well, yeah. When I used to drive from St. Louis to upstate New York, on the very least amount of time it would take me would be like 18 hours. And that's 18 hours in like in August, and it could be as much as 25 hours in like December and January when the snow was terrible, and I have to go
stop. You stopped though, right? You stopped for a hotel, right?
Oftentimes it was one of those things where like as long as you can keep on driving, and if you wanted to get home and not end up like 2 days because the roads were frozen over and stuff like that, I just kept on going. I only stopped once, and that was because my brother wanted to sleep. So yeah, I was the home or bust type of guy.
Wow. Well, it was for the most part a good trip. I got to see one of my coworkers that I've only spoken to on the phone. I've seen him on like Zoom and stuff like that. But yeah, it was overall a good trip. I like the Carolinas. I'm probably going to move there in the next 2 to 3 years, probably.
Hey,
maybe sooner. I don't know.
You'll be closer because North Carolina isn't. Where in North Carolina, if you don't mind?
Well, it's undetermined, really. Where I would move to, it's kind of undetermined.
Oh, yeah, because you could. Okay, cool.
Yeah, but yeah. So I don't know. Although the place that my mom was staying, my cousin's house, they're apparently they're doing all right because they're on Lake Nueman there, that's like where the football team of Carolina, the Panthers. That's like where their players have houses and.
Oh, nice, yeah.
Yeah, and he and they live there right on the water, have a pontoon boat and the whole nine. So
it sounds like they're winning.
They are winning. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
But yeah. So you know what? You know what time it is?
I guess you're gonna ask me a question.
Motherfucker, bring me 2 fingers of Jameson.
Yeah, so I take it
so,
that.
Yeah, so until I hook up the soundboard, man, I'm just going to have to. I'm going to have to freestyle that intro.
Yeah, it's funny because it seemed like that encounter with Southern Comfort gives you a moment of pause. You're not saying that. You're not saying Johnny. You're not saying Southern Comfort.
Well, Southern Comfort was the clip.
Oh yeah, but you're okay.
Yeah, I'm just taking this opportunity to inject real whiskeys that I like.
We need to get some sponsorships. But yeah, I am.
Wait! I gotta say, man. And this is related, but I met with my coworker. We had always had tequila shots over because the work they have a virtual happy hour, which is basically just the alcoholics of the company link up on Zoom and drink and talk and stuff. We don't do the Jeffrey Tubin thing. We just zoom. We just drink. But we would always me and this dude Risha would have shots of tequila, and so when we were there in person. There we had I was at this place called Eddie's on Lake Norman. Beautiful place, and so we had shots, and I ordered us each a shot of silver Patron, got it chilled, and they brought it out in I'm not sure what a highball glass is.
A highball is basically a tall, slender glass.
Okay.
4 or 5, 6 or 7 inches tall, and it's glass.
It wasn't that.
Yeah.
This imagine like a beer glass, but like cut in half size. I don't know what you call it, but a lot of times cocktails come in it.
Mm-hmm.
But they brought it out at least 4 fingers of Patron tequila in these glasses, man. No ice, cold, but no ice. But I mean, that is a hell of a pour for a shot.
That was one shot?
That was one shot.
Yeah, that guy was trying to kill you two. They were trying to end you, man. Kind of reminds me of that. Remind me of that one night with you and I and that bottle of silver Patron. That was. It's like we wanted to kill ourselves.
Yeah, and that'll do it. Oh, so you was getting ready before I so rudely interrupted you. You was getting ready to tell me what the bartender brought you tonight.
Yeah, I had a what was it? A passion fruit margarita.
Okay.
So about 2 shots of. It's a very smooth what's it called? Costco brand of tequila. That some passion fruit, a little bit of lemon juice, and yeah, a lot of ice. Nice. Life is good.
Very good.
You?
Well, once again, I don't feel like I'm living up to the promise of this podcast, and that I'm just I'm having a 0 sugar root beer.
God,
I know, man.
I mean, you are quite literally. Is it diet?
Well, it's diet and it added 0 sugar, but it's just advertised as 0 sugar. It's not really advertised as diet.
It's literally worst of all worlds.
No, I like you're not even gonna let me get away with this a little bit, are you?
Yes, please get away with it.
No, I realize the cover art of our podcast is two beer glasses clanking together.
Mm-hmm.
We have this segment every week about what are we drinking, and I have just not been holding up my end of the deal. I realize that.
Well, I mean, recognizing that you have a problem is the first step, man.
Somehow it feels like this seems backwards somehow, but I'll go with.
You're not drinking alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the show is what? Down the rabbit hole? I mean, it's wacky world.
Yeah, up is down, left is right. Dogs are marrying cats, and all that stuff.
Bryan's not drinking. Like, what the hell?
And Bryan's not drinking.
Next thing you know, you'll be going 55 miles per hour. Like, what? Who would have thought? Okay, yeah, low blow.
Don't quit your day job, Joe.
I'll be here all week. So, what do we have on tap?
Well, first things first, we want to thank all of our YouTube listeners out there. I want you to like, subscribe, share. Like this podcast.
Like it.
Subscribe if you're not already.
Why haven't you not?
I don't know why, man. It doesn't cost anything.
Yeah.
And most importantly to me is share, please. Share it far and wide.
And the crazy thing is like sharing is like giving a gift. The person whom you share it with will be grateful.
They will, yeah.
Yeah.
And they'll also be upset because they'll know that there's no way that they can gift you something as valuable as what you just gifted them, and that's this podcast.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, moving on, as always, it looks like we got some more news coming out of something or
Minnesota.
other. Minnesota. Yeah.
Yeah.
A brain fart there.
Mm-hmm.
The the judge dismisses third-degree murder charge against Derek Chauvin. Other charges remain. This is probably a good idea in that I think that he's removing charges that they know probably he won't be convicted on.
But to me that suggests sloppy charging in the first place. Like, hey, you know what? Maybe we should just throw this stuff on the wall and see what sticks. That's what it sounds like. I mean,
well, I think we kind of acknowledged that when it was happening.
Mm-hmm.
We was kind of like, why are they throwing all these additional charges on there and enhancing the chances that he was going to get acquitted on them. So, and I think this was one of those. I mean, it looks like he's still got second degree murder charges.
You want me to read it?
Yeah, please.
Okay. Minneapolis Fox 9 Hennepin County judge has dismissed a third-degree charge against former Minnesota police officer Derek Chauvin, but denied the defense's motion to dismiss other charges against him. Wow, those guys are ballsy. Chauvin remains charged with second-degree murder and manslaughter in the death of George Floyd.
The attorney was like, "Yeah, that's a good idea. How about some other charges?"
It's like the defense attorney didn't see the tape.
Right.
Judge Peter A. Cahill issued several critical rulings Thursday. He also denied motion to dismiss the aiding and abetting charges against the other three officers charged in Floyd's death. In his ruling, Judge Cahill said he dismissed a third-degree murder charge against Chauvin because the statute does not fit the alleged crime, as it requires Chauvin to have put other people's lives in danger with his actions, just not Floyd's. I would say he probably put every cop in America in danger because, all the riots that followed thereafter. Judge Cahill stayed the dismissal of Chauvin's third-degree murder charge for 5 days to allow the state to appeal the ruling.
So it may, who knows, it may stick after all.
Yeah. Let's see here.
So I mean, if first degree murder is the bad one, right?
I mean, they're all bad, but I guess it's the worst one. It's like, it's like the guy who's like, I know this guy. I'm planning on murdering him. I'm gonna, a week before, I'm buying the gun. I'm gonna sneak in the back door.
You can get the death penalty for first degree.
Yep, try him.
But so then second degree is not as bad as first, but still worse than third, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what the hang up with this third degree is. I mean, is it when everything's said and done, they want to have more years to tack on to a sentence or something?
I mean, prosecutors, it's one of those things like, if we can't get him on this, maybe we can get him on that. And the difference is, 5 years, murder second degree is, 25 years, murder third degree is 15 years, something like that. I mean, so, and it's one of those things where you realize that prosecutors, they're not like, faithful servants of the law. Many of them are careerists, and they want to, move up that rung, so to speak. So, getting charges, putting people away is a great way of doing that. So, let's see here. Minnesota Attorney General Keith Allison called the judge's decision to keep 8 of the 9 total charges against the 4 officers an important positive step toward the path of towards justice for George Floyd and his family and our community in Minnesota. Ellison said his team is still weighing whether or not they will appeal the ruling. While Minnesota officials prepare for potential unrest over Cahu's ruling, the leadership of the Minneapolis NAACP appear to have little issue accepting it. Yeah. So, what say you?
I guess my comment about second and third degree is kind of like where I was at, but I don't. I guess I don't know what the ultimate ramifications are to this being dropped. I mean, if this is
Well, to me, it should make the life of the prosecutor a little bit easier because, if you're trying to prove, 9 things as opposed to 8, you have less things to pursue. So,
and if what the judge said about third degree, I mean, I appreciated the lengths you went to show that other cops' lives were at risk because of what he did, but I don't think that's quite what the judge meant when he was talking about.
Yeah.
I was having a little fun there, but I think. Yeah, I mean, I just think that the third degree murder charge doesn't sound like it applies, and that's the only reason that they dropped it. But still, 8 charges out of 9.
Yeah,
it makes me feel lucky about my 85 and a 55.
Well, yeah, it's one of those things where when when you're complaining, you're like, yeah, this guy has real problems.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm still not positive that they're not going to find a way to drop the ball on this issue. If for no other reason than I know that Keith Ellison's the person who's the Attorney General for the state. So, yeah, he's got he tried to become the leader of the Democratic Party and was shut down by Obama for being, if I recall correctly, too far to the left for Obama's liking, and so he went back home and got this job. I wish him the best in getting this prosecuted. I hope, because if he drops the ball on this one, his career is over. He might as well pack it up.
Well, I certainly concur with I really feel like that despite what people think, that I generally consider our elected leaders to be inept in just about everything but getting votes. And
and raising money.
And raising money. So if there's anyone that can fuck this up, it would be these people. But hopefully, with the, I still think the video is the biggest piece of evidence, and
it kind of reminds me like if. It's not as if we haven't seen a crime committed on tape and the cops still walk, just as Rodney King. I mean, yeah. So it could happen.
It could,
and it's funny because our next story, if those cops get off, well, actually no, race war. That's a totally different topic, but.
Yeah, it's interesting there, but before we get to that, Joe, I want to. I've been poking around the conspiracy world again here lately.
Uh-oh. No.
And
yeah, what's gonna happen?
And it's been I feel like for a podcast with the name Rabbit Hole in the title, that we're not going, kind of like how I'm not drinking alcohol is kind of cheating the listeners. I don't feel like there's enough rabbit hole material on the show, and so I'm not promising this every week, but at least this week I am going to. We're going to go down the rabbit hole, and we're going to have some fun with it this week.
All right, cool. Yeah, I consider myself the straight man. You know.
You're what's going to make this. You and your reactions are what's going to make this fun. And also the cool thing about the cool thing about this quote unquote conspiracy theory is that everyone can play.
All right.
Everyone at home listening, if you're not familiar with the Mandela Effect, then you can play along, because this isn't a conspiracy where like you just have to suspend belief to accept it. This is something where you're going to either say yes, this has happened to me, or no, it has not.
All right.
And so people out there who already know about this, well, stick around, because it's still going to be fun to get Joe's reactions to some of this. So the Mandela Effect.
What is it? Yeah.
Yeah. The Mandela Effect. It obviously it got its name from Nelson Mandela.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
Hey, I just thought that in history there may have been more than one Mandela. Yeah.
Well, this is the thing, though. This is the Mandela Effect was identified and named by a woman. I don't have her first name here, but her last name was Broome, Broome.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, in her explanation of the Mandela Effect, Broome cites how she and a number of her other acquaintances have clear memories of activist and former South African President Nelson Mandela dying in a prison years before his actual passing.
What?
Complete with a televised funeral. However, in reality, Mandela passed away in 2013 from a respiratory tract infection.
Mm-hmm.
And this raised the question: how can so many people, strangers even, have the same memory of something that didn't happen as they remember? That's not a good explanation. A lot of people think that, and I think this applied to me as well. They have this memory of remembering Nelson Mandela dying in captivity sometime during the 80s. You know, when he was jailed and
Mm-hmm.
and all that. But he wasn't. In fact, he didn't die in the 80s while he was in jail. He died much later in 2013.
Mm-hmm.
So do you have any memory of Nelson Mandela's death? Does this apply to you at all?
I do remember him dying, but I don't. I mean, I guess the thing is that I remember when they let him free.
Okay.
Yeah, and so at the time I was a kid, and I remember talking to my uncle LaMont, and he was like, I mean, what does Mandela getting free in South Africa do for me in St. Louis?
Well, first of all, I'm jealous as fuck that you had an uncle named Lamont.
Cool dude.
Because I grew up on Sanford and Son, and that was the son's name on the show, Lamont.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. So yeah, so the thing is, the Mandela Effect is basically, we'll say roughly, I'll say half, but I don't necessarily mean half. I mean a large group of people versus another large group of people. But it's them having memories, remembering something, but things that never really happened.
All right. So it's like a group delusion?
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. So so do you remember the children's book of are you like writing your memoirs over there or something?
My leg might be shaking.
It's weird. It sounds like someone's just like writing on a pad of paper.
Nope.
It's just some interference.
Right.
Never mind, people at home.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try to cut that out if I can. Do you remember the Berenstein Bears?
Oh yeah. I remember the Berenstein Bears. Love them.
But did you know that That's not really what their name was. It's
Uh,
it's the it's the Berenstain Bears.
yeah. I just remember they like a bunch of Jewish bears that had adventures. Um, I did, yeah. So who's that?
Yeah, I always thought it was the Berenstain Bears, but um, truth be told, it's the Berenstain Bears.
Berenstain.
Mm-hmm.
Oh crap! You're right. Holy crap. Okay. So yeah, like had you told me, it was the Berenstain Bears, I would have that would have been something that we would have gone and made a bet about, and I would have lost.
You lost, yeah. That's crazy, right?
Yeah,
Um,
that's a great. Yeah,
on the you remember the Monopoly Man? Who the
yeah. The guy who has the top hat and the cane.
right?
Yeah.
Does he or does he not also have a monocle?
Yes.
No,
What?
no monocle.
Wait a second. Monopoly guy. What's his name? What's his name?
His real name is Rich Uncle Pennybags.
Rich. Huh. Okay, Rich Uncle Pennybags. I must have twisted. Okay, I must have had him cross with the peanut guy.
Right, right.
Okay.
Um, so we'll move on to Star Wars.
All right.
I don't know if you're a Star Wars. You don't have to be a fan, but do you remember the famous line in Empire Strikes Back where he says, "Luke"?
I'm your father.
Right. That's not exactly what he said. In
Oh.
fact, Vader said, "No, I am your father."
Huh?
What Vader because how it goes down is Luke says, "You killed my father," and Vader says, "No, I am your father."
Oh.
But everybody when they quote it, they always quote it as, "Luke, I am your father." So
Okay. Okay. So yeah. So those are three great examples of
mm,
each time something I would have argued. I would have I would have placed a bet confident that I was going to take your money, and I would have been wrong. Okay.
crazy.
Nuts.
Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump.
Okay. Life's like a box of chocolates. Terrible.
Well, I'm glad that's what you said because that's not what he said.
Okay. I feel
He
like an
actually
idiot now.
said he said life was like a box of chocolates.
Okay, so wrong verb. Live.
Life was like a box of chocolates.
Huh. I'm like what? 0-4.
Yeah, yeah.
That's not funny.
Silence of the Lambs.
Okay, I ate his brain with some.
Do you remember how he? You remember how he greeted Clarice when I think she first met him? A lot of people he can hear him. Hello, Clarice.
I was too young for that, and my parents probably rightly would not have let me watch Silence of the Lambs.
Well, that's fine because he never said that.
Okay.
That's one of the things. I mean, that's got me as well. I would have swore that he would have. That's what he said to her um, when he first met her was hello, Clarice. But um, according to this, Anthony Hopkins never once uttered those words as Hannibal Lecter in a film.
But okay, so I mean, each of those are examples of some placing embarrassing bears the wrong consonant. Sorry, the wrong vowel. So A instead of E. Uh, Forrest Gump, wrong verb. Was instead of is. friggin' Star Wars. What did I? But yeah, so yeah, those are all common misunderstandings, but none of them, to my mind, reach the level of Nelson Mandela dying in prison.
Okay. um, do you know? Okay, so you're familiar with Forrest Gump, yes?
One of my favorite movies, probably my favorite movie.
Who played? Do you know who played his mom in that movie?
I don't know. I can see her face.
Sally. Yeah, Sally Field.
Oh, all right, cool. Yeah, you know me. Like for me, people who actors and actresses, especially actresses, they all look alike to me. Like Tom.
Okay.
That's probably why I like the movie, because I'm like, yeah, that's. I mean, Tom Hanks to me is the most recognizable. You know, he's like a recognizable and everyman. So two things I like.
She's often quoted. I'll just read this. She's often quoted as when she accepted an Oscar, I believe. She said she's often quoted as saying, "You like me, you really like me." But that's not what she said. In fact, she said, "I can't deny the fact that you like me. Right now, you like me." So.
Yeah. Some of it seems as if people are making almost like a mental correction in their mind, such that like it seemed like it was like odd phrasing, or Berenstain just doesn't roll off the tongue the same way Berenstein.
Right.
But what?
Snow White in the Seven Dwarfs.
Yeah.
The evil queen would say, "Mirror."
Mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?
Right, but she said that's how I always remembered it. But again, I guess we're just parsing words here. She actually said, "Magic mirror on the wall."
Yeah. Hey, it's like you see those things where it's like they say find the mistake, and it says 1, 2, and 3, but the mistake is in the word mistake.
Ah, okay.
But, all right, cool.
Do you remember the Publishers Clearinghouse?
Egg McMahon.
And what would he always show? He'd show up on doorsteps to hand people those big oversized checks.
Yeah, I remember that, but I really honestly can't think of what he used to say. And wait, how long has it been since he's been the guy that does that?
Well, never, because he never did it.
Okay, so he was just a guy in the studio.
Do you recall the Tonight Show sidekick, Ed McMahon, showing up on doorsteps to hand people oversized checks and balloons because they struck it rich in the Publishers Clearinghouse sweepstakes? McMahon never made any house calls. He endorsed American Family Publishers. And while the entities were similar, McMahon never appeared on camera as part of a prize patrol. It's an example of what Brewer refers to as source confusion. You may remember a detail like McMahon appearing on television, but not the source in this case, a rival sweepstakes promotion.
All right. Yeah, and as you were reading that, I looked that up as well. Okay.
And this one here, I remember this as well. I don't know if you will or not, but do you remember, the comedian and actor Sinbad?
Oh yeah, he was a great comedian. He was clean,
Right?
didn't curse, and funny. So yeah, I remember him.
Do you remember any of his movies that he made?
No. Now that I think about it, was he with Hank? No. I don't think he was in. I think he was in TV shows.
He was in TV shows.
Yeah.
I think he did a few movies, but I remember him doing a movie where he was a genie.
I thought that was friggin' Shaq.
It was Shaq, but I remember. I remember a movie called Shazam,
Yeah.
where he played a genie.
Mm-hmm.
but in fact, it was actually Shaquille in a movie called Kazam.
Huh.
But
Okay.
yeah, that was one
Looks like
that got
somebody,
me.
somebody put some work in this one.
So it's interesting that, and so the this isn't really the interesting thing about this is well, I'm hesitant to even bring it up because I'm not prepared to do a deep dive on it, but um, people the conspiracy theory that kind of goes along with this is that that CERN and um, the Hydron Collider
Yeah, that's in.
thing.
I remember hearing about that a lot. Maybe a long time ago. The super
Yeah,
collider. That's like somewhere
yeah,
in Europe, someplace like that.
right. Now there's a lot of crazy shit involved with that on its own, but a lot of people would theorize that in one of its experiments they actually did like damage the fabric of time or something like that, and that some of us are living in one dimension where all of these things were true, and it's a so
Well, like I said earlier, the crazy thing is with the exception of Sinbad, the ones I had knowledge of, I would have been prepared to go to the mat on each of them.
it's fun, it's interesting, and that's just I just scratched the surface there. If people go out and you'll do searches for the Mandela Effect, you'll find tons of other examples out there. That I try to pick ones that I thought would be most relevant to us, but
So it's kind of like deja vu, but not
yeah, kind of like that, yeah.
Huh. All right. Well, not. I mean, it's funny you mentioned that particle collider. That's what it was, right?
Yes,
Because
yes,
I remember for a while. I mean, this was a long time ago, but yeah, it was in the news regularly because it was
right,
supposed to be the biggest one in the world. I think it was in
hmm,
Europe or someplace in Europe.
yeah,
And
it is.
I remember hearing about it. And then like you just didn't hear about it. I guess I think maybe 9/11 happened, and then people are like, yeah, we got other stuff to talk about now. So
There's there is all kinds of crazy things that went on at CERN. Um, Satanic rituals and yeah, all kinds of crazy stuff that that's just video. I mean, there's video of it. It's like they did it out in public to they weren't trying to hide it or anything, and so of course they can play the card that it was just a joke and whatnot. But um, crazy stuff happened at CERN, and yeah. So anyway, that was fun. Um, that was light. It was nice and light.
yeah.
I'm letting everyone know that to go buy your spelunking gear now because I plan on I'm 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 falling back down the hole, and so I'm going to start. I think I'm going to start bringing some crazy shit to the show
All
at
right.
least once or twice a month, maybe. I don't know.
You're also going to read some more of what's his face, the crazy psycho murderer, bomber.
Yeah, but I'm not. Yeah, but I'm just going to drop those in casually. So the great thing about that is that he could be mistaken for just about anyone with any right leaning. Um,
Penchant.
yeah,
Well, I mean,
yeah,
I always thought they were all crazy, so it makes sense to me.
yeah. You'll be like, I don't see what's so funny.
Hmm.
That's what I think about you, crazy motherfucker.
Did I say that out loud? Oh, snap! Not again.
Yeah. Anyway, good stuff. So yeah, this is and on to a more kind of a serious note here. I have this under the title Race War.
All right.
P.
Oh,
Diddy.
well, it's funny that you should say something as serious and then mention P Diddy.
Well, okay, it's serious as serious as a washed up hip hop artist can be.
Yeah.
No, that's probably not fair. I don't know if P. Diddy is washed up or not. He was
Uh,
never.
yeah.
He was never my flavor, so I don't know.
Washed up sounds about right. But
He used to be Puff. He used to be Puff Daddy, right?
yeah. I mean,
And he hung out with Biggie.
yeah, until yeah.
Yeah. So, but I really didn't get into Biggie until after he died, and I just never got into Puff Daddy or P Diddy. But anyway, he's got a warning for us.
What's that?
Race war.
Not again.
If Trump gets reelected, he says there's going to be a race war, and I guess he's going to start a new political party.
Huh. Yeah, I mean, you know what? I've just been sitting around waiting for P. Diddy's leadership on this issue, and I'm just so very glad that he finally delivered the leadership that I've been so yearning for.
You know, this reminds me, interestingly, and I'm not necessarily saying that these two are going to vote for Trump or if they're ever going to do anything meaningful. But did you see in the news recently where both Ice Cube and 50 Cent have tepidly kind of endorsed Trump?
I've not seen anything about Ice Cube endorsing Trump. What I did see was Ice Cube having a contact with Black America, in which Trump, upon hearing about it, Trump's people reached out and adjusted the Trump Platinum plan with. But yeah, I hadn't heard that he was actually supporting Trump.
No. I said tepidly support,
All right.
and I just mean I don't expect Ice Cube or 50 Cent to do live performances with Trump anytime soon. But considering that Ice Cube's like got a song called "Arrest the President," for him to come out and acknowledge that, I mean, I don't know exactly what he said, but he got a lot of shit for saying it.
Well, basically, I can tell you what he said.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Well, basically, he said what anyone who's been really paying attention has known is that the Democrats have been taking the African American vote for granted for at least 50 years, and that it's time that we get something for our vote, and that our vote should be the African American vote should be promiscuous insofar as nobody should be able to count on it. And so that's pretty much what he said. And then he put together, his contract for Black America, and he talked to Trump and he talked to the Biden camp. The Biden camp said, we'll talk. I mean, if I get elected, I'll address the issue. And Trump was like, yeah, we'll meet. And in fact, I'm gonna adjust my plan to put some of your ideas in it. That's pretty much what he did. So his big sin there was, talking to the Republican and acknowledging the fact that anyone who has a brain in their head can plainly see.
Are you familiar with what Ice Cube's plan for Black America is?
I've seen it high level. I've not sat down and read it, but I have. Yeah, but yeah.
Is there anything substantial in it, or is it just like platitude kind of stuff? Is there anything real in it, you think?
Sorry, Ice Cubes?
Yes.
I've not read Ice Cubes, but hey, maybe that should be a show idea. A topic we can cover in the next week, because I've read Trump's plan, I've read Biden's plan, and I'll read Cube's plan, and we can just go through them just for giggles.
Well, I think 50 Cent is his support is more monetary. He just said, basically, he looked at the tax plan or he looked at what Biden would do with taxes and basically said, I don't want to become, I like being 50 cent. I don't want to be 20 cent. So,
I mean,
I guess Trump's got his vote for that.
well, I mean, if I mean, I'm sure that half the people who are, who are for Biden now, if they were to look up and be worth $500 million, I think they would, they would look at that whole tax stuff and take that very seriously. Biden saying that, if you make more than $400,000, we're going to increase your taxes. Yeah, if I made more than $400,000, I would vote for that.
You know what though? I'm not faulting for that though. I make well under 400,000,
Mm-hmm.
but what I want him to say is, if you make less than 400,000, I won't raise your taxes, but I promise that I will extend the Trump tax cuts
For those making less than 400,000.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess I'm thinking to myself like, you know, where is $400,000 middle class? I mean, to me, that's you're rich, $400,000.
Yeah, I guess it depends on where you live in America as well. Well, like if I 400,000 where I'm at, yeah, I'm doing all right.
Yeah, I mean, there are only maybe 2 or 3 places in the country where you're just struggling to get by with $400,000, and even then, you're struggling to get by if you assume that you have to live a certain lifestyle where you have a house in the Hamptons, you send your kids to private schools.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, I think to me, $400,000 is a lot of money. It's a year is a lot of money.
P. Diddy is no longer threatening to hold his vote hostage this upcoming election. The hip-hop mogul has officially endorsed Joe Biden for president.
Big surprise.
But it's because he believes there's no other option. It's why Diddy hopes to change the political landscape moving forward. In an interview with our favorite, Charlemagne the God, Diddy warned Americans that we are on the verge of a civil war. If Trump gets elected, I really do believe in my heart there will be a race war, Diddy exclaimed.
Was this written in 2020 or 2015 or 16? No, I'm sure it was written in 2020. He says elected as opposed to re-elected.
Warning that if Trump gets elected, that's interesting. I don't have the timestamp for this article, but that's a good point.
Well, yeah, I just you know how you read something the first second.
But then the headline says it correctly. If Trump wins re-election,
yes, it does. Quick eye. I really think it's pretty irresponsible for people to go around talking about civil war or race wars. Why would you even bring up the specter of Americans shooting each other in the streets again? What could be possibly gained by that? It's one of those things where you're like, oh crap, the tricks we use to scare people just aren't working.
That's a good point. I don't know. There's you oppose Trump, but at least in a rational way. There are a lot of people that I could only take them at their word, and they truly think that he is all the things, the Hitler, the dictator, the this, the that. I mean, I can only just take people at their word when they constantly talk about him in these over the top crazy ways. And
those are people that have gone down other rabbit holes and are convinced just believe. um,
It's bizarre. I've never seen anything like it though.
I'm sure you have.
I don't know, man. I mean, I'm thinking back to. I mean, they said bad things about George Bush, but
I mean, I mean, I can remember all sorts of things about what they said about Clinton, about Clinton had one of its aides murdered, Vince Foster, and Clinton, had a trail of bodies, people who he'd been screwing around on Hillary on, and they got too mouthy, and he had him murdered. Um, I mean,
I remember. I know the things you're talking about, but I feel like this is a different level.
well, yeah, saying likening an American president to Hitler and being a fascist, that's a little bit further on the crazy chart, but
I mean, if he was a fascist or he wanted to do a big power grab, 2020 would have been the year to do it.
well, I mean, he doesn't help his case when he always talks about running for a third term.
But
And,
I don't buy it.
and that's the crazy thing is because so much of what Trump says, even if you like what he's saying, so if you like what he's saying, if you like Trump, he's going to say something where you're like, yeah, he's just saying that. You ever notice that?
I need to hear everything. I need to hear the things he says doesn't translate well in just written text. So when he says something like, "I'm going to run for a third term," I need to hear it.
And,
Him say it in context.
Because because I'm not an interesting person and don't have much to do with my life. Apparently, I make it a point to watch both Biden rallies and
You do?
Trump rallies, and I've heard him say that at least twice. And it's like it always seems like it's like it's one of those things where it's like it's like poking a bear with a stick, or going around just and kicking over a hornet's nest. Good things don't come out of it, But
but I got to tell you, that's what we elected him for.
oh, fair enough. But I mean, but saying I'll the next time he says it, I'll.
Yeah. I want to. I'll do some. I'll even do. It shouldn't be hard to find. I'll try to do some searches and find it as well. But
it's one of those things where he says it. I'm like, yeah, it's got as plainly ridiculous. But like, I'm like, why would you say that?
Purposefully to irritate his opponents.
Well, I think the only, like I said earlier, the only reason it makes sense for him to say something like that is so that he can eat up time on the other guy's clock. But okay,
maybe I don't know. So let's see here.
So I mean, if there was a race war, I mean, okay, so like the black people, white people, Hispanic people, Native Americans, Asians. Just stupid.
And what you just said there kind of points out the fact that he probably didn't put a lot of thought into what he said. I mean, because there's not just black and white in America. There's all kinds of races.
Yeah, like who would the Hispanics side with?
Right.
Good question. Well, I think I'd have a pretty good idea who they would side with, but I mean, why would you? Irresponsible.
But I mean, white men like Trump need to be banished. That way of thinking is real dangerous. This man literally threatened the lives of us and our families about going to vote. Diddy said.
I didn't hear that. Oh,
The entertainer then referenced President Trump's message to the Proud Boys to stand back and stand by, while not denouncing white supremacy at the first presidential debate.
That once again in that category of why would he say that? And even you were annoyed with why could he just why does he have to give them the stick to hit him with?
Yeah, I've thought about when I start hearing them going after him about QAnon, I think I realize what the media is trying to do with the Proud Boys and the QAnon thing.
And what's that?
They want him so much to condemn them in such a way that they can just take them and lump them in with the all white supremacists. And as far as I know, the Proud Boys are not a white supremacist group. QAnon is not about race at all. But for some reason, they want him to condemn these groups for things that these groups don't stand for. And it's I don't know what the media's obsession with it is. And Trump has already 101 times denounced white supremacy in all forms, yet he's constantly still asked about it. And it reminds me of I've actually ended relationships with girls because of that. If you ask me something and I answer it, but then you keep asking me, it's like,
well, that's because they don't believe you. Just like the media, they don't believe.
Exactly.
All right.
So they keep asking him as though this time I'm going to believe you. Nah, it's just they want to. There's nothing he's going to be able to say that's going to satisfy them. So why even try? And I think that's it, because there's nothing there's from what I can tell, there's nothing racial about Proud Boys, and there's definitely nothing racial about QAnon. In fact, I don't understand QAnon. Their whole thing is about getting rid of pedophilia. So I don't know why they're so opposed to that.
Yeah, we need to just sit down and do a show on those, because I've been reading articles about the Proud Boys, and as far as I can tell, it just seemed like I don't want to say a loser group, a bunch of guys who are in some way disaffected, who like to wear black and gold trimmed shirts.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I know they are purportedly responsible for starting several brawls, in like New York and several other places across the country. But from what I've seen, I don't. I mean, it's I don't even know why they're a thing. If that makes sense.
Sure.
And if one of the listeners out there can point me to some information that shows me otherwise, I would be eager to learn about it.
Well, who's the group that wore Hawaiian shirts?
Those are the Bungaloo Boys or Boogaloo Boys.
Boogaloo, yeah, the Boogaloo Boys. Breaking 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah. And I mean, it seemed like they're all these. I mean, the Proud Boys have this thing where they're not allowed to masturbate, but once a month. It's like, wow, that's some club to be in. I mean, and I bet you a lot of these people are libertarians. They're like, oh yeah, government, don't touch my this and don't touch my that. But then they go join a club that says don't touch yourself. Come on now.
I had not heard that.
You hadn't heard that? No, yeah, it was in the show notes. Sorry, it was in my list of articles. Let me see if I can pull that up. But yeah, it's in there. I'll send it your way.
I think I've got your Proud Boys article in here.
It is?
Yeah, in the show notes.
Yeah.
I don't know. It looks like I've got the entire article in here.
Yeah, it's in there. Yeah. Type in masturbation. It's like once a month. Yeah, there it is. To join, recruits have to take an oath declaring proud Western declaring themselves to be a proud Western chauvinist, and refuse to apologize for creating the modern world. After uh, after its founding new members were also barred from masturbating more than once a month, according to the group's bylaws.
Huh.
Yeah, so like, yeah, I just had to type in MAST. And what are the other? Those must be the Tobin article. Yeah. But yeah, like, why anyone would join a group that has, unless you're, yeah. Oh, are you there?
Yeah, I'm just I'm reading.
Perusing?
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, that struck me as odd. But yeah, everything I can find about them comes from groups that are anti Proud Boys. I'm trying to find something that
Well, I went to their website, and I found, I guess, their about page, and it's and this is on the if you scroll down, you'll see it here. It's the core values of the Proud Boys. I got this from the website, and their core values, it says minimal government, maximum freedom, anti-political correctness, anti-drug war, closed borders, anti-racial guilt, anti-racism, pro free speech, the First Amendment, pro gun rights, the Second Amendment, glorifying the entrepreneur, venerating the housewife, reinstating a spirit of Western chauvinism.
I'm gonna have to look at the word chauvinism, because my let's see here.
These are our central tenets, all that is required to become a Proud Boy is that a man declare he is a Western chauvinist who refuses to apologize for creating the modern world. We do not discriminate based upon race or sexual orientation or preference. We are not an ism, an ist, or a phobic that fits the left's narrative. We truly believe that the West is the best and welcome those who believe in the same tenets as us. That's what I got from their website.
So chauvinism, exaggerated or aggressive patriotism. That's number one. Number two, excessive or prejudiced support for one's own cause, group, or sex. That sounds like, yeah.
So they just are very, very pro-Western culture.
Oftentimes, very, very pro one thing is anti the other. So, for example, a rabid homosexual activist, oftentimes, they come across as being anti-heterosexual. Would you agree with that?
Hold on, say it again. I'm sorry.
A person who's a rabid homosexual rights activist.
Homosexual rights, okay.
Will come across as being anti-heterosexual. Or think of
I see what you're saying.
A rabid feminist. They come across as being, they're often accused as being man haters. They can make the same argument. Hey, I don't hate men. I just believe that women should be privileged, or we need to be aggressive in our pursuit of our rights. So
But they hurt their cause by sometimes by the things that they say.
Oh yeah, I think the Proud Boys could probably could fit that bill as well. But
Yeah,
you want to go to that one, because I think we're done with the Diddy or Diddley. P Diddley.
Well, next on my agenda, I after race war is I call Ride the Lightning.
Oh, let's go that one.
Yeah, this is I only you put this in here. I only know about it at a high level here. 3 women. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're thinking.
That's a good one. That's a good one too. U.S. schedules the first execution of a woman in nearly 70 years.
Now, I'm going to take a step back.
Okay.
You remember, what was it, Tammy Faye in Texas? This would have been about 1999, 2000.
Okay.
And she was a woman in Texas when George W. Bush was the governor.
All
and
right.
there was a big deal about her getting executed.
Okay.
So
The
I
name
don't know.
don't sound. The name doesn't sound familiar, but okay.
But you can continue.
Did she get? Did she get? Well, I guess she didn't get executed since
No, she did.
they're saying this is the first one in 70 years. A date has been set for the execution of a Kansas woman who was convicted of killing a pregnant woman and cutting the baby from her abdomen in what would be the first federal execution of a woman in nearly 70 years.
Okay, federal.
A federal execution, yes. The inmate, Lisa Montgomery of Melbourne, Kansas, was convicted of kidnapping, resulting in death by a jury. Was convicted of kidnapping, resulting in death by a jury in federal court in Missouri in 2008. Her death by lethal injection is scheduled for December 8th at the Federal Correctional Complex in Terre Haute, Indiana. Terre Haute.
That's the same place. What's his face got his? Guy that was responsible for the Oklahoma City bombing.
McVeigh.
Yep.
Okay.
And the lady I was thinking of was Carla Faye Tucker.
Okay. What was she convicted of? I mean, murder, I guess. But...
Yeah, killing 2 people with a pickaxe during a burglary. God damn, she's
Good
savage.
Lord.
Holy crap.
Woof. That's
Carla Tucker had an axe, gave the victim 40 whacks. When she saw what she had done, she gave another guy 41. Holy crap. My God. That's why they didn't commute her. I remember Pat Robertson was like, yeah, don't kill her. She's like saved. And George Bush was like, yeah, she's got to go.
Wow.
You don't remember that?
I don't.
I must have had too much free time on my hands.
Well, if Lisa Montgomery's executed, her death will be the first federal execution of a woman since 1953, when Bonnie Eddie was killed in a gas chamber for kidnapping and murder of a 6-year-old boy in Kansas City. In 2004, Miss Montgomery told her friends and family that she was pregnant despite having undergone a sterilization procedure years earlier. In December of that year, she contacted Bobby Joe Stinnett, who was 23 and 8 months pregnant, under the guise of wanting to buy a rat terrier puppy from the litter she advertised, and I did not include the rest, but I can guess how it goes.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, man. I guess she should probably go, but you used to call me Hang 'em High Nueman.
yes, I did. You're not going soft on us now, are you?
Well, I've taken the stance that if someone is convicted of murder and like either basically if they were convicted on circumstantial evidence, then just no death penalty.
Yeah. Right.
If and I say this, if they was convicted of murder and somebody firsthand witnessed it.
Yeah, like there's a witness with the person. There's a witness placing the person over the body with the knife, saying, "You'll never hurt me again," or die MRF. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. But if someone was convicted on circumstantial evidence, I'm like, just life is fine.
I would probably say life without the possibility of because life in most states is like
Well,
25 years or something like that.
well, that's what I meant. Yeah.
But I mean, and from my point of view, the state has shown itself more than ready to execute black men, of which I am one. And so, like and like we were saying earlier about prosecutors, that
Trying to make their bones.
exactly making being careerists and trying to get that next job. And I don't want to be a notch on his belt for him to get so he can run for governor or something like that or mayor. So,
Right.
so I mean,
Yeah. No. I mean, it's got to be like no. Let's say no doubt. There has to be no doubt, and you have to go through like all of the appeals and all of that kind of thing. But
but to me, I mean, you could say, oh, DNA evidence. Even DNA can be planted. We found, we found his hair, a hair of his on the body that places him at the scene.
yeah, that's still. I mean, is that? I would still consider that circumstantial. I mean, would you? Is that? I mean, is that? I mean, is that what people would consider?
Well, I mean,
I don't know. That's weird. I don't
that's
know.
physical evidence. Circumstantial is
It
like
is?
yeah, I can't think of something right now. Now that we're talking about it.
Well, yeah, me neither. Me neither. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's
Pickle.
But yeah, I mean, things can be planted, and again, I'm just I guess I'm just like killing them isn't going to bring them back. Isn't going to bring anybody back, and it might make a few people feel better, but even then, it probably won't.
No, I mean, I think it would be, I think the person would suffer more never seeing the light of, never being able to be free again than, I mean, either one's a pretty terrible way, but, dying in prison can't be fun either,
Yeah, although a person's never underestimate a person's will to live, but I think McVeigh he asked for it, didn't he? He was like, I don't want to go to jail. I don't want to appeal. Just kill me.
Yeah.
And I can kind of see that in a way, but when it came down to it, I don't know. It'd be hard to.
Yeah,
it'd be hard to,
I'm chicken. What's that phrase you use? Chicken. Chicken shit. Yeah, that's me.
Chicken shit. I guess that's me too.
Yeah, like oh yeah, no.
Oh,
I don't know why that caught my interest. Probably because it happened so rarely.
Right. So so here's the article that I mistakenly started. This I don't know. I'm looking forward to a good laugh, but I could be wrong because I've not read this yet.
All right.
I'm just going by the 3 women accused of inciting assisted living residents to fight. I don't know why that makes me laugh.
It's one of those things that's I mean, on its face is terrible.
It is. Have you ever seen like bum fights before YouTube banned
yeah.
them?
That was a minute ago. I totally forgot about that.
You can't help but watch them, but you know that you should feel horrible for watching, but
like need a shower thereafter.
Oh my God, yeah. 3 North Carolina women were indicted after authorities said they incited 2 female residents at an assisted living facility to fight each other, and one of the 3 women filmed it. A grand jury on Monday indicted Tunisia Yvonne Tyson, 21, and Tanisha Deshaun Jordan, 27, each on
Damn.
one count of misdemeanor assaulting an individual with a disability.
I didn't know that was.
The
I didn't even know that was a crime. Like
yeah,
this
there's a,
assault and then assaulting an individual with a disability.
yeah. The Winston-Salem Journal reported Wednesday. Officials say Marilyn Latish McKee, 33, was indicted on 2 counts of assaulting an individual with a disability. All 3 women are from Winston-Salem. Authorities say the incident occurred on June 19th, 2019 at the Danby House. Winston-Salem Police and the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services investigated the incident. A search warrant said an employee at the facility called police 2 days later. Come on, let's get to the good stuff. All right, the female residents involved in the fight were in their 70s and told Winston-Salem police they were not injured. According to documents from Health and Human Services, the women were in a special care unit at Danby House because they have dementia. They didn't even remember.
Damn. Awful.
The document, this is horrible, yeah. The document says the women identified as resident 8 and resident 9 were fighting in one of their rooms as Tyson, Jordan, and McKee watched. Jordan told police she filmed the altercation and encouraged one of the women fighting to punch the other woman in the face, according to a search warrant. During the fight, the woman fell on the bed in Resident 8's room, and Resident 9 hit Resident 8 and at one point began choking her, documents said. Resident 8 is heard yelling, "Let go, help me, let go." According to the documents, one staff member is heard telling Resident 9 to punch her in the face. A third resident, identified as a 78-year-old female resident, is seen lying in the floor, and at least 2 staff members are shown in the video walking past her and not helping her. Winston-Salem police later determined that the woman was not involved in the fight.
Wow. Wait. Do they? So it seemed to me that these women had beef. That would have been beef had it not been for the 3 agitators.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I see that.
Yeah.
But then again, if they suffer from dementia,
I mean,
that's just pretty bad.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, the one aspect of dementia is just being aggressive, and so, yeah. I mean, they just, sometimes they snap and they just want to fight. So I guess these 3 women were like, hey, well, if somebody's going to take a beat, it might as well be another demented person, not me. I mean, that's the only reason I can think of. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if these guys were. I don't know if these guys should have been charged with anything. Except for the one that said maybe not even punch her in the face. All right, well, maybe.
All right, people. That's Joe High's stand on this.
Joe is an official. It's official. Joe is a bad person, and
Joe's going to hell. Joe's going to hell. I am indifferent or neutral, or I'm even opposed to it.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Well, I mean, if I'm going to hell, it's not for that. It's for that other stuff.
Yeah.
Just for warming here all of a sudden.
So we are at about the 1 hour and a half mark. How are you feeling? What are you thinking?
Let's see.
I've got 1, 2. Looks like we got 3 more stories before this week in skullduggery. We have to hit on the Matthew McConaughey story.
Yes.
We have the one on the simulation and one on the Michigan Wolverines.
The simulation can wait because that's not specific.
Yeah,
that's one of the things I like about the show, that none of them are necessarily well, except for the
Yeah.
updates, aren't necessarily specific to the date that we're reading it. So let's we can table that. I mean, I lost my
Okay.
train of thought.
How about the Michigan Wolverines? Is that a good story?
Let's see here. Let me go up to it. Yeah, all this dead. Yeah, let's go for it.
So this is all related, I guess, to the Governor Gretchen Whitmer, the kidnap plot, the so-called, I'll say it, the so-called kidnap plot against Governor Gretchen Whitmer.
Uh, and we talked about this briefly in a previous show, and I was like, well, those heroic boys in the FBI came through again. To which Bryan said,
Yeah, look, if this is legit, then I'm not going to be like one of those hard-headed people that are like, well, technically, in Michigan, according to the law, technically they are allowed to arrest her for blah blah blah, and so I'm not, yeah, I'm not going to go there, but
and which is why
my
we are friends.
yeah, but my big thing, and I've been kind of, I haven't seen this particular article, but I've been trying to follow this, and I'm looking for, here's what I'm looking for, because I believe that the FBI, they have a game plan that they execute, like it's like a playbook, and they execute it perfect. They just always execute it, and usually the only difference between those and this is that typically the victims are undereducated, not undereducated, but a lot of times people with mental problems, oftentimes not super educated, people of color, not necessarily black, but Arab or Middle Eastern.
Not people toward the top of the social pecking order, so to speak.
Yeah, and what they'll do is they'll target these people, and maybe some idiot is on Facebook popping off about wanting to do something, and then it's like the FBI through informants approach this person and basically hold their hand. Say, oh, you want to blow up this bridge? Well, and then they hold their hand and lead them through the entire process, and then at the last minute arrest them and say, look what we did. We stopped the terrorist attack.
Yeah, so like, hey,
we stopped the terrorist attack that we facilitated.
Like, what's that? You say the government's gone too far and they've got to pay? Well, would it be terrible if a bomb went off? We have a bomb and we'll help you set it up. Oh my God, this guy was trying to set off a bomb, and then they slapped the cuffs on him.
Yeah, because and the stories are always just that, the FBI's like, oh, the public was never in danger. We had this under control from the beginning, and X, Y, and Z, and it almost makes you wonder whether incidents like Timothy McVeigh, or the first time, remember when the World Trade Center was
World
bombed?
Trade Center number 1.
The first time it was bombed, in the bomb went off in the garage.
Mm-hmm.
It almost makes you wonder whether that was another incident that where the FBI lost control of their.
Whoa, that one got away from us.
I don't know, man, but it happens. It just happens all the time. So I see this article and I'm willing to apply that to this. Is it's one thing to be in your basement with your guns and your Budweiser beer and you're talking shit about, we got to get this governor.
She's got to go.
This governor, she's lost her mind. We got to get her. There's one thing about saying that, and then another. There's a long way from talking that way and then executing a kidnap plot.
Well,
but they've already said that they've had that this went down because they had an informant there, and I just want to know. I want to know the extent to I want to know the extent that this informant had. Is all I'm saying.
Hey, you see the link I just sent you in the chat in the Thincaster? Apparently, these guys went out and got some trigger time in terms of actually. They were taking affirmative steps towards moving a conspiracy together. Let's see here. And while you're looking at that, I'll look at some of the. I'll start going through some of the article.
Yeah, go ahead.
Attorneys for the so-called Wolverine Watchmen group said they are just guys who like to play guns in the woods. Evidence shows their plot to kidnap Governor Gretchen Whitmer was more serious than that. Attorneys for the three of more. They probably should say or more than a dozen men charged in the connection with the month-long plot to kidnap Governor Gretchen Whitmer tried to paint their clients as people with anti-government beliefs who like to play with guns in the woods. While they used inflammatory language online, they had no formal plan to carry out an actual abduction, the defense said in a pretrial hearing on Friday. The government, though successfully argued in front of the U.S. Magistrate Judge Sally Burdens, that there was a probable cause to charge the defendants, Adam Fox, Ty Garbin, and Brandon Castarda, with conspiracy to commit the kidnapping. It wasn't just that they discussed their ideas to kidnap the governor in several encrypted group chats. Members of the so-called Wolverine Watchmen, that's a pretty catchy name, group also met to do weapons training and attempt to obtain explosives, said Special Agent Richard J. His name Trask, the second, on Friday. Fox and Garvin, along with some of the other defendants, participated in two surveillance visits to Whitmer's home, one of them in the middle of the night, and attempted to buy explosives to blow up a bridge nearby her property. These guys, there are also several attempts to hide evidence of their planning and avoid public exposure ahead of their mission, Trask said. While on their own, the individual pieces of evidence, like owning and shooting a variety of guns, buying night vision goggles, or sharing anti-government ideas online, might not be illegal. Collectively, they make it clear this plan wasn't just a deranged fantasy, the U.S. Attorney Prosecutor Kessler argued. What say you? So
it seems like all of this information is coming from one Special Agent Richard J. Trask II.
Yeah, that's
who I'm assuming was the informant, the undercover, not informant, but the undercover guy with the group.
That's not a great. I would just say maybe he's just like the case manager or the spokes guy. Because I mean, oftentimes the informants they kind of want to, keep on working. So if you can't have your name and photo out there.
That's true. Well,
I
don't know, man. Like I said, regardless, these guys are going to jail.
You think so?
Well, especially if it's the FBI doing this, because all of those cases that I complain about the FBI setting people up, I think they have a 100% conviction rate.
Yeah, you're right. I don't even know why I said. That's one thing Mom High used to say is when the feds swoop down on you, they got you. They're coming. They got the evidence and they're coming in big and heavy. And yeah, that's some wisdom from Mom High.
Don't get me wrong. If these guys were really going to really wanted to was really going to do this, then yeah, they should absolutely be arrested and prosecuted. I'm not going to defend them. But,
yeah. Well, it sounds cartoonish on its face. Like you guys are going to kidnap the governor and bring down the state government.
Yeah.
It's like you're kind of wondering when magic enters the story. How do they plan on getting away? I mean,
Right.
it wasn't thought through. But I mean, Wolverine's gone wrong. But
I think. Well, hold on. The government or Democrat has been criticized by conservative activists for the state's COVID-19 lockdown, and I think she deserved to be criticized.
okay, so yeah,
In chats, she's the one that just had those these ridiculous laws, like you can go to the store, but you can't buy this. You can. It's like she wouldn't let people buy like plants or seeds and stuff like that. It's
like farmers. Like if you're a farmer and you're trying to plant your seed, you're not like you're planting a farm in the middle of Detroit where you have a high.
I mean, I don't think farmers buy their seeds from the grocery store though. That sounds more like, gardens. People wanting to grow a garden in their backyard or something like that.
Yeah. Well, I know that she's been a favorite target of Donald Trump, and like you say, people on the right. She doesn't have a lot of friends in those circles.
It doesn't have to be a good plan to be dangerous, Kessler said. These people got caught. These people got caught because they're amateurs and they didn't think it through. That doesn't mean it isn't dangerous. Barron's agreed with prosecutors that they didn't need to prove the defendants signed on the dotted line to participate in a conspiracy to kidnap, and ruled that the case may move forward. The fact that it was likely to be unsuccessful or difficult to accomplish isn't relevant.
Matter, yeah.
Barron's word. Without bail. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, it looks like just good old boys gone wrong.
Yeah. We will see.
Should this be a story we follow?
Well, I almost want to.
Well, I mean,
yeah, I won't. Let's throw it on the list, and if it loses our interest, we'll just let it drop off.
Hey, sounds fair.
Yeah.
So what else is popping off?
So yeah, Matthew McConaughey. He's just one of the coolest guys ever.
Yeah.
I could.
In the pantheon of cool dudes, who else is up there with him?
Oh,
like
man.
cool Hollywood dudes. And now that we say it, mine goes totally blank.
Well, I'll say I don't know that he necessarily is cool. Maybe in his youth he was cool, but I am a huge Tom Selleck fan from the Magnum PI.
I heard that he was an out and out asshole.
Well, thanks, Joe.
That may have been Hunter, which is a Magnum PI-esque show.
Oh, that was Fred Dreyer. He's an ex-football player. I remember that show. He could be.
I could run it down because I don't want to slander Tom Selleck. He's got that mustache.
Hollywood people are Hollywood people. So, but Tom Selleck was always like always someone. But I really I'm not gay, but I'm really into Matthew McConaughey, man. He's got, and I'll admit this, and I shouldn't admit this, but I will. He's got a few. I think maybe in the early 2000s. I don't know when they were released, but some romantic comedies that I just used to. They was just like on my.
Stop. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You can't be a guy confessing to liking romantic comedies. I can't let you do that, guy. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
You just, oh man.
Friends don't let friends
admit to liking.
Demasculate themselves like that.
Even if it is like a guy that's in the pantheon of pool. No, sorry. Bro code. Bro code.
Matthew McConaughey reveals dad died of a heart attack during sex with mom.
That,
Oscar,
a winner produces a winner. I mean,
of course.
On the list of ways that'd be great to go out, it'd be great. I mean, that's the way I would want to go out. Sorry for the miss.
she's traumatized for life for life, but he went out on top.
Yeah.
He went out.
Or, maybe she rolled the life out of him. Who knows? But
Oscar winner Matthew McConaughey is gearing up for the release of his new memoir, Green Lights. Within the upcoming tome, the dazed and confused actor opens up about his family history, revealing in an excerpt featured in his People cover story that his beloved father, James Donald McConaughey, died just how he knew he always would, in bed with wife Kay. I got a call from my mom. Oh God, this could be traumatizing too. I got a call from my mom. Your dad died. My knees buckled. I couldn't believe it. He was my dad. Nobody or nothing could kill him, except mom. He'd always told me and my brothers, boys, when I go, I'm going to be making love to your mother. And that's what happened. He had a heart attack when he climaxed. James died in 1992. He and Kay had an on-again, off-again relationship, marrying each other 3 separate times. Matthew was conceived shortly after their 3rd wedding.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
You know what? If I was Kay, I think I would have left that detail out. I'd be like, yeah, your dad died in his sleep, in bed.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Yes,
there's all kinds of jokes that I want to say here, but I'm not going to do it. I already realized that I curse too much on this podcast, and I don't need to get vulgar either. So
well, hey, yeah, good on you. Good on you. But if I was Kay, I would have left that one under the hat. That would have been a piece of trauma I would have taken to my grave. I would have told anyone else that.
What if he made a deal with her and said, since this is what I always say, when I die, you got to tell people this story. Is that possible?
Yeah, that's possible. Did it say how old he was?
I don't think it did. It said he died in 92, but we don't know when he was born.
I'm sure there's if only there was a way that we can summon that information. Let's see here.
Maybe one day there will be.
Maybe. I mean, if we live long enough and pray hard enough, the information gods might have an answer for it. Let's see here. Seems like that's a pretty popular name, too.
His name is James Donald McConaughey.
Yeah, there's another guy who has the exact same name, died in 1922. Probably the wrong guy. Let's see here. You can go on if there's anything else you want to cover while I look for his age.
Yeah, I'll just go ahead and I'll move on to this week in Skullduggery.
Skullduggery.
This one brought to you by Joe.
Uh-oh.
An Italian woman jailed for spiking colleagues' cappuccino with drugs after she heard rumors of job cuts at the office.
They're not going to cut me.
No, you're going to jail, bitch. An Italian woman has been jailed for 4 years after lacing a colleague's coffee with drugs for 9 months. Holy
Second.
cow!
Mm, that sounds. Keep on going.
Mariangela Serrato, 53, spiked Alice Borden's drink with benzodiazepine powder.
Some drug.
Yeah, a tranquilizer at an insurance company in Bra, Piedmont after hearing layoff rumors in 2017. Sky News reported. See, I just can't even imagine where this story's going.
Nowhere positive.
Serrato launched the poisoning campaign, hoping to get Borden fired. Oh, okay. Hoping to get her fired and protect herself from any pending layoffs. I got you. I understand now. Cristiano Berdiz, the lawyer for the victim, told Italy's La Stampa newspaper, the drug induces fatigue, headaches, dizziness, and muscular pain, and my client's work rate slowed after she drank the cappuccino. Wow, a cappuccino whose sole purpose is to amp up yourself, being combined with drugs that depress your system. You'd almost think that would lead to like a heart attack or something, right?
Yeah, you kind of have like you're being pulled in two directions.
Borden only realized something was wrong when she crashed her car into a tree after work, according to the Independent. She became convinced of foul play when Serrato pressured her to have coffee in the office. Yeah, you gotta play it cool.
Yeah. Chick
Hey, you gonna drink that? I got you that. You gonna drink it? Come on, drink your coffee.
But
Are you gonna drink that?
How long was she doing it again?
It says for 9 months. Is that daily?
Yeah.
Can't be daily.
That's a long time.
Borden decided to keep a sample of the cappuccino, which she took to police, who found that it contained extremely high dose of benzodiazepine tranquilizer, and then secretly filmed Serrato mixing the powder. Lad Bible added. Benzodiazepine is a psychoactive drug often known as brand names Valium and Xanax. Well, you could have just used those names.
Yeah. They should have led with that.
It is prescribed to those with anxiety or sleeping disorders. Serrato has denied drugging her colleague and said she will appeal her sentence. The insurance company she worked for said they no longer have plans to lay off anyone. Oh, no. No, actually, it says the insurance company. I was trying to make a horrible joke there, but the insurance company said that she worked for said they never had plans to lay off employees at the time, but were in fact on a recruitment drive. And now there's one more seat to fill.
Yeah. Dumb. Very dumb. Okay, Mr. McConaughey was born in 1922.
Okay.
Let me do some quick math.
Now fire up the calculator.
1992 minus 1922, 70. That should have been easy for me to do in my head.
I feel really dumb now.
But apparently he was a
There
football
wasn't even.
player.
We didn't even have to carry any numbers. Didn't have to carry any ones or nothing.
Yeah, hey, you know what? When it matters.
Well, shit.
So, like, yeah, that was, she was pretty dumb. I mean, she had to figure that eventually she would get caught, right? I mean...
You would think, but criminals are usually dumb. That's what cops always say, right?
Yeah. I mean, they're typically not, the sharpest knives in the box.
No. Well, you know what? What is our time here? What kind of time are we looking at?
Let's see here.
1:50. Ooh, we're cutting.
Oh,
yeah,
snap.
I'm gonna have to. Yeah, we'll have to save old Jeffrey Toobin for maybe next week.
Yeah,
Although I'm sure everyone and their brother has already come up with every joke possible. So
It's funny. I'm surprised I haven't seen more jokes about him.
oh really?
I don't think I've seen any jokes about him out of anybody. I mean, how's he going to show his face anyway? Yeah. I mean, and the crazy thing is, I mean, name a man who's not a proud boy, who doesn't masturbate. Everybody does it, but most people have this thing called discretion, where they don't do it.
You have to wonder whether he almost wanted to get caught. I don't know if that's a thing. It is a thing.
It is a thing, but he's a lawyer.
But here's what I want to know, man. It's like, who was it else on the Zoom call that had him so aroused that he felt like he just had to break one out right then and there,
We should stay tuned for next week. I'm sure they'll be in the they'll be in the article.
All right, man. All right. Well, everybody, thank you for sticking with us to the end. If you're here, if you left early, well, what the hell with you? Yeah. No, that was a joke. We love you anyway.
Was it?
Yeah. YouTubers. Again, like, subscribe, share. Please.
Subscribe and share, please. Yes. Do it. Do it.
Mm-hmm.
Do it now. Do it now.
For everyone else, we thank you. And in 7 days, we're going to be doing this here again. So why don't you join us? Won't you? Please.
Won't you be our? Yeah, that's Mr. Rogers. Wrong guy.
Yes. There is a Mandela Effect for Mr. Rogers as well. I didn't include it, but there is one.
Next time.
All right, Joe. Take care, and everyone, we'll talk to you later.
Bye-bye.